we have a predator problem. Unfortunately, a couple of incidents occurred late last night, early this morning, that have basically confirmed my suspicions on who or what we're sharing the property with. So last night, sitting around the fire, and we hear the unmistakable, if you've ever heard it before, you know it, but the kind of yelp of a fox. It's a weird sound. It's not like a dog sound. I mean, maybe like a little yappy dog, but it's really high pitched. It actually sounds like a child kind of screaming in either fun or pain. My first instinct was actually, I thought Alia was on the phone in her cabin, kind of horsing around with one of her mates and yelling out. So I went and checked with her. And you know what she says? No, I think we've got a fox nearby. I'm like, how many nights have you been hearing this? I'm not surprised that we heard it from here. What I am concerned about is that we then heard it up beyond the house. And so then what happened next is this morning, about 4:30 in the morning, Remy went off. So I let him out. He ran straight around to that chicken coop, did a loop around it. I got the spotlight out, shone it, out through the bush, and right back at me were a couple of yellow eyes. So you're probably noticing I'm being a bit cautious with my words and exactly what I show on camera. Look, the whole YouTube censorship thing is just a minefield, and we're a young YouTube channel. I just don't want to play that game, and I don't want to take that risk. I know you can, but look, we have a Patreon page. The full unedited version of this video will be over there because I just don't have to worry about all that crap over there. In short, I'm licensed, I'm trained, I've got years worth of experience, and that's not even what we're out here to do this morning. This is just in case. What we're here to do is to put together a bit of a story. Can we figure out where this fox has been on our property and what it's up to? Can we make sense of any kind of evidence we might come across today? All right, we're basically heading for the second ravine now, the big deep one that we have on our property. It's much further than, already, okay. I was just about to say to you, it's much further than the noises that I heard last night and this morning. But the reason I want to head down here is there's so many of these sandy areas, and it's going to be almost impossible for him to pass, or her, to pass through without showing any evidence. Claws, pad, toes. A kangaroo's front paws can sometimes trip you up and look a little bit like, but you'll notice that the kangaroo's big long back toes will be immediately preceding the front ones. This one's unique, but the movements are really close together. Look, I'm not an expert tracker, but you learn to kind of tell the tails over time. These are very small pads, very long claws, and some of them, like these ones here, have dug in and kind of scooped in a little bit as it's shuffled. I reckon that was an echidna passing by. We've got lots of them on the property. I could be wrong. Correct me in the comments. If you know tracks better than I do, please, I'm happy to learn. These little ones here, these are going to be just our little redneck wallabies. So in all honesty, the chances of coming across anything other than some paw prints out here is going to be kind of slim to none. Hold up. I will eat my words right now because that is the unmistakable, pungent, musky odor of a fox. Well, if ever there was anything that looked like a foxy kind of a hideout, let's go check it out. That smell, I can't even describe to you. That there's nothing wet dog, old socks, dirty laundry, like even those descriptions aren't doing it justice. Okay,
Okay, I'll show you this in a minute. It doesn't go back very far, and there's definitely been animal activity in there, but one of them has definitely been a fox. So I'm not sure if it's a den, looks more kind of echidna home, but the smell is unmistakable. So probably just marking territory, but that means this is a little hot zone. Well, that was honestly more than I could have hoped for. Like, I thought we'd find paw prints, but to get clear signs of an obvious hangout spot through that smell, but that's just the first part of the story. We know where it's been. We kind of need to know where it's going. I want to set myself up to be able to take care of this in one go. So I think the plan should be, we'll come out tonight and see if we can't figure out what path it takes. But meanwhile, I've got a whole heap of homestead chores and tasks I've got to take care of. Mucked around in the bush down here for long enough this morning. So let's go take care of a bunch of that, and then we'll grab the spotlight, head out tonight and see what we see.
Okay, so on the cards today, not a lot, just kind of typical homestead chores. I do have to do another pig move. I won't show too much of that because we did that last week, but they chewed up that area in like 2 days. And so they've got to move. But in the process, I'm going to redesign their water setup because it's just problematic at the moment. I'll show you why. Nice. Loving all these colors. Check this one out. It's like pink with purple polka dots, but we're getting all the blues and the greens and the dark eggs. Our focus this season coming will be these quombies. So the goldy colored ones, you've heard me talk about them a lot. They're a multi-purpose breed, so meat or eggs. We'll probably just start with shipping fertilized eggs. That's nice and easy. If you're interested, I'll leave a link down below where you can leave us your details. Don't leave your contact details in the comment section. Don't give that out. But if you wanted to, maybe get fertilized eggs through us, we've got a number of specialty breeds like Sussex, Barneveldas, Morans, Aracanas. But yeah, our focus to begin with will definitely be the quombies. So yeah, if you're keen to connect with us in that way, just hit us up and I'll let you know. It'll be about springtime when we really ramp up into it. And Eddie's doing all right, aren't you, Eddie? You're still a little bit crooked in your neck. I think she's getting better. Okay, I've been putting this off, but did you realize it's only 4 weeks until spring? I need to know if I have to build a second hive straight away. Let's see if the colony has held strong through winter. I don't want to bug them too much. When the resources are low, they're going to be on edge. All I'm looking for is where I put blanks in. Have they filled them with comb? And yes, they have. Check this out. That is all new comb down in there. That was a blank bar that we put in just before winter. All right, pretty happy with that. Definitely room for expansion in there. We'll be all right for a few months, but second beehive needs to be on the cards for this year. So pigs are well and truly done in this space. They've only been here 4 or 5 days, and check out all of that natural tillage. So the issue with the pig water at the moment is not the equipment necessarily. Like these pig water nipples, they're awesome. The problem is, yeah, empty again. We need more water storage. And just a little tip about fencing pigs this way. You've got to do a perimeter check every single day. So these old IBC tanks were our first water storage before we got the big tanks. And look, they did the job. They're not ideal because they're translucent, so algae and stuff can grow in there. But they've got the fittings already. So that's 1,000 litres versus those 60-litre barrels. And I can put a pig water nipple on that for them. So let's just figure out a way to get one of these down there. This kind of brings up a point. I don't have a vehicle at the moment. Let me show you why. So you've probably seen already in the background of some of our shots, our car with no bumper on it. We were in an accident. Totally my fault. I wasn't paying attention. Like just 2 seconds, I had this army truck driving beside me. Oh, what's that? Bang. And so, look, it's minor stuff. We can do it ourselves. But at the moment, we're kind of off the road. Not a huge deal. Ali's got her car. Friends on site with a car. Family on site, of course. So we're getting by. It's just a bit of a pain in the butt. And now I've got to work out how to move an IBC tank with no vehicle. I can't believe that worked, actually. Let's go to the green field. All right, 1 pig water nipple installed on an IBC tank. That's 1,000 litres of water. That's going to at least last a week, probably more. Okay, in the must-do column for today, bottle the homebrew. First, I've got to wash a stack of bottles. All right, homebrew guys, tell me you know a faster way to do that. And don't say dishwasher, because if you've seen the tiny space in my tiny dishwasher in my tiny home, it's not an option. Anyway, bottles sanitized. So now we fill them up, add some dextrose to carbonate them, cap them, and then store them away for a few weeks. Now all we do is wait. About 6 weeks at this time of year, a little bit faster in the summer. But hey, for about an hour, hour and a half's worth of my time and about $25, $30, that's 2.5 cartons worth of beer. We do this every couple of weeks. That's plenty and it tastes good. So 4 weeks away from spring, what's the garden update?
Oh, there's so much happening. But today, I've accidentally been very good at growing borage. So we're going to hack at it today, do a few things with it, but most importantly, we're going to start drying it, and that is going to be the very start of my medicinal herb stores. Look, here, over there, but this is the one. It's just, this self-seeded. It's amazing. So chickens are going to love it. Compost is going to love it. It's a great green manure. It's planted where my tomatoes were, so it's a really good companion plant. But here's the thing that I want to dry, and these things here, the seeds actually make, it's called starflower oil, and it is very beneficial, anti-inflammatory, and a bunch of other things. I'm not a professional, so I can't give advice, but look up the oil from the borage plant. Really beneficial. So in hindsight, I should have waited until all the flowers opened. So that's all the things I can't use. But here's all the things I can use. It's fine. Part of YouTube is having you all come along on our derp moments as well. Okay, so they can go to the chickens. So these are the flowers. And they've got the seeds in them, but I think I'm going to just pop them in my dehydrator and see. This is a test. Just going to see what happens. And if you watched our podcast, if you didn't know we have a podcast over on another channel. And we just did a podcast this week on microplastics, which like I'm thinking about all the time now. And then as I got my dehydrator out of storage, I'm like, crap, it's plastic. So if anybody has information about metal trade dehydrators that they want to pass along, I mean, we could, in the summertime, we could dehydrate like ourselves with the sun.
We should make one.
We should definitely make one. And part of living off grid means you can't just leave your dehydrator on all night. So I've got this hooked up to the Bluetti and I'm kind of excited to see how this goes.
I can't tell whether or not the sun has set because it has been a miserable overcast day. The time of night that we heard the yelps and yips, the little fox sounds, was sort of dinner time. So about an hour from now, I'm keen to get set up down here and just see if I can sit. I wonder which way this wind is tonight. It's next to non-existent, but it's there to the northeast and I'm heading northwest. So I've got wind blowing across my right shoulder. We shouldn't give ourselves away by smell. If she's coming down into the ravine and then probably taking a long trek around to the east of this paddock here. Paddock, still bush. Paddock one day. I'm gonna imagine that I'm holding the, oh look, let's here we go. All right, so this tree here, kind of ideal height, and I can sort of pick my heights because it's leaning like that, but I can get in here, rest my stick on the tree, tuck it in, and get a nice tight position. Look, the older you get, the steadier you've got to get, and so the more you can kind of brace yourself, the better. I love this Ryobi torch. I've hacked it. I've put an adapter for a Makita battery because I've got really big Makita batteries, and in fact they're knockoff Makita batteries, and this sits in my cupboard for weeks on end without needing a battery change, and I can see for a good 300 meters easily. How cool is all the wildlife that we have on this property? Lots of cool sightings tonight, and then right at the last minute, as I was about to pack it in, hang around, I'll show it after this, the quickest of glimpses of yellow eyes right where I thought they would be. I think I've picked out the trail that this fox is taking. So we've got a bit of time to sort things out. It hasn't got to our chickens yet. I think next step, maybe trail cam, or maybe I just sit out for the next few mornings with a certain piece of fox control equipment and take care of business.